We back with another one when they thought they ain't gonna be no another one. Maryam Tarabi in the building. How you feeling?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, you know what? Let's go straight to the top. Like, what happened with the first interview? Because let's go into that. What happened with it?
I messaged you a while later to tell you to delete it, but do you want to say your experience
I'm
when it
say-
uploaded?
I was gonna say why the hell is added me on the Snapchat?
I'm pretty sure.
Some other business. I think someone who like two people who claim to be your cousin.
They were all people were not happy. The reason why I had an emotional response instead of a logical response. So and plus I started practicing. I just felt like I could have carried it differently. So prioritize it, and then when it got taken down, I grew a lot, and now I'm back and I'm ready to do another one.
Okay, makes sense. Let's get straight in though. Like, what was your upbringing like as a child, especially in a place like Norfolk? So
Norfolk is not bad. It's a community. We're very tight knit. It was nice. I'm the youngest of 10, so I got babied a lot. I just got given. I'm just quite spoiled growing up, and then I never really faced any. My childhood was quite nice until tragedy came, but you know it was nice.
okay, so how was Teewizz as a brother?
He was my favorite brother because he's the one above me. He was like my protector. I don't know, like it's just someone I can always go to.
No, 100%. So, how was he as a son and as a sibling and as just a person generally?
He had a big heart in the family. He played like the family clown. Like he was just always joking, always playing around with you. He was a mummy's boy. He loved my mum so much. And to me, as a brother, he played like when my older brothers would get onto me, he'd be like, "Don't get onto her before I smoke you." Like, he was always just protecting me. Yeah, we're quite close.
No, I hear it. So, how does it feel, to see that certain drill pages painting him as some sort of a savage in a sense, because a lot of people and drill pages allege that he participated in certain crimes, certain things which were violent acts as well. So how does that make you feel in a sense? And
First things first.
And also, do you ever question that? Oh, is that can't be my brother type of thing?
Yeah, I can't. Like I never. Like I don't know. I had to pull people aside and be like, "Hey, like on a real note, is he capable of this?" Like I never knew. To the family, he's a whole different person. And even now until today, I don't want to know. I don't think like may Allah forgive him if that's possible. I don't know. Like inshallah, he's not punished for that. And he never served jail time, so he was quite smart. We never knew that side to him. So you know what I mean. I actually can't question that. But it explains a lot to why loads of people be mad. But Allahu A'lam, I genuinely don't know.
Okay, fair enough. So what can you talk us through the day he passed?
Yeah. I went fun fair. I woke up, said bye to him, went fun fair. I was with my high school friends. They're my friends till today, baked them up. Honestly, they really carried me through this stage of life. But yeah, I was just with them, and I get a phone call. My sister was in the same fun fair, and she's the oldest. I'm the youngest. And she gets a phone call, said like I got stabbed. And then she tells me, "Hey, look after the kids. I gotta go home. Abdullahi got stabbed." I was like, "Okay." So she left the kids with me and my friends. And then literally my reaction was, "Abdullahi got stabbed? Okay." And I went back on a ride. Because to me, he portrayed like he's such a strong person. Like I never knew that he can get hurt. Do you know what I mean? That's my older brother. Like he always, nothing happens to him. So, yeah. I never paid. I just said, okay. And then I went on a ride. And then I can see no one's calling me. Time's ticking. I take the kids to a close friend's house. And I'm sitting in a close friend's house. And then I get a phone call from my cousin. And she's like, everyone's at the hospital. No, I keep calling everyone. Honestly, it's such a blur that I can't actually remember. But I keep calling everyone. No one's answering for me. My cousin answers. And then she starts crying. And I'm like, what? Like, he's dead? And then I remember I broke my phone. And I had my little nieces in the house, but the two older ones, they knew him. They were like 8 and 9, and then they weren't crying. So I remember like, why the fuck are you not crying? Like I'm bugging out on them, thinking like, why are you not crying? But they're kids too. Anyway, I make my way home. The crime scene is still there. The gruesome sight, everything is still there. And then I go into my house and then I see the Weetabix that he left. And I just it's a small world, you know? Like, I'm just like, honestly, I can't explain how that, it felt weird. I don't know, I can't explain it. I just wasn't on Earth. My mind was somewhere else. Anyway, I went into his room, just walking around, and the house just keeps getting full. Like, people are coming out of nowhere. Like, it's within the hour, everyone's just coming to my house. They say he's announced dead. And then, yeah, days after, we go to the house that he ran to. Like, there was CCTV footage on that house anyway. So, looking back at the CCTV footage, how it exactly happened was, while I was at the fun fair, he said to me, he made Weetabix, and he said to my mum told him to hoover. He said, okay, he brought the hoover from upstairs to downstairs, and he went outside to the shop. He goes, I'm come back, I'm a hoover. So when he was at the shop, he saw his ops, and then my house was 2 minutes away. He could have easily went back home, but the thought of like bringing danger to my mum's doorstep, he never went back home. He went the opposite direction. Then he ran, and they chased him, and then he ran into an alley. And then outside the alleyway, when you leave the alleyway, it's a really short alleyway. When you leave, the first door was the door that he needed to go to. But he got out of breath inside the alleyway. Then he started fighting. And as he started fighting, my other brother, if you see on the news, is the name out there? Do you know?
No.
Okay. So my other brother, he saw him. And then Abdullahi said, it's okay, just go back to Ramsey. Like, he just basically saying, I'm going to fight them off, you go and get them, you know? So my brother goes all the way home, and he comes back, and when he comes back, it's too late. The men are not there anymore, and Abdullahi's on the floor, and it's a very gruesome sight, and the CCTV footage of the house shows you everything, like, to the T, even the noises. It was just very wild, and I got PTSD from that. Anyway, my brother picks him up, and then he makes him say Shahada, which I am now content with. Alhamdulillah, like, he died saying the Shahada, which is a good thing.
The Shahada is when you officially become Muslim.
Yeah, and if you die saying it, Allahu A'lam, inshallah, is granted Jannah. And the way he died, like, it was a reason why, like, my brother came too late, and the knife, you know, because if you die powerless, like, without a weapon, injusticely, and someone kills you and you ain't got a weapon to defend yourself, and that's martyrdom as well. And inshallah, he gets martyrdom because that brings me peace. Yeah.
Okay. So, could you talk me through the court trial as well, on how it went, how you guys felt when you heard the not guilty verdict, and I swear that the judge, I forgot his name. I think it was Judge Monroe. The judge.
How did you know that?
I done my homework.
Okay.
I done my homework. Judge Monroe. It was a judge, but he did say that the outcome could have been different if people were willing to testify, but there was barely anyone willing to testify on that day.
Firstly, my family didn't want him arrested. Well, it was half. It was politics within the family. Half of them wanted street revenge, and the other half wanted justice from the court. Like me, I don't know. To personally, even if you got life, I wanted him dead anyway. So, like, do you know what I mean? It's just not, you kill someone, you need to die too. You don't need to go to jail for the rest of your life. You need to die.
We can debate that.
No. If you kill someone, you need to die. In Islam, it says that, and Allah's always
the
right.
only reason, because obviously the way, because I was having this conversation with a friend like a few weeks ago, that imagine if you get given like 20, 30, 40 years in jail or something.
That's not enough.
No, but take in. Let's say you're 20 or 30, you get that time, you come out, you're an old man. You have no job, no kids.
But you were
no
eating,
nothing.
You were watching TV,
That's
you were socializing, you were doing things that the person that died is not able to do. You're breathing, they're not. Do you get?
We'll go into that separately.
Yeah, it was politics. Half wanted it, half didn't. Anyway, regardless, my brother, the one that found him, was meant to be being a witness. How can you ask him to be a witness? He just, like, you know, there's no way he's going to be in the same courtroom as the person that he saw. You know what I mean? And that was as a big ask, you know? So we didn't even want to ask him. It's more of a, we can see he's not going to do it. You're not going to ask him. That's just crossing boundaries. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's the only one that was there, like, to literally say everything to the T. And there's no way I feel like that's, even now, I don't even wish he did that. Because why am I asking you to do that? As a sibling, that's a heavy ask, you know? So, and then what else? What else? Witnesses, the road people, the people on the streets, they were there. It just wasn't enough. And then I also feel like the police didn't like my brother, which is true because they were always trying to arrest him and he was never getting caught. So they kind of thought, like, this guy, he's finally gone. Like, even the police felt that, not just the public. They were like, oh, like, this guy's such a, what do they call it?
Nuisance.
Yeah.
Nuisance.
He's such a nuisance and he's never getting caught, like, you know? So they were always on them people's side anyway.
Fair. So when they came home and they beat the case, how did that feel? Because now these guys are outside, they have freedom. One of them
was ignorant.
One of them even made a song about it.
Yeah, he's ignorant. The other one is very remorseful.
So how did that feel? Like seeing that, especially with him making a song about it.
Yeah, he's ignorant. He's very wild. I don't know, but your time came anyway. The other one, even in the court case, he's very remorseful. He knows that he surrounded himself with the wrong group of friends. He was very young. He cried. His dad's a priest. He went on his knees and begged my mum. Like, that one, he's very remorseful, and I feel like karma will reach him, but like in its own way, not forced, you know? Like, you know, in the world, if you do bad, you get bad.
I'm not.
But like, he genuinely isn't the same as the other one. The other one's ignorant. He deserved to go to hell. But the other one, wallahi, I can't say he's miskeen because he was there, but it's like, I can see in his eyes the biggest mistake ever.
When TeeRose passed away, how did it make you feel? And also, do you have any sympathy?
No.
Because at the same time, he has parents.
Wallahi, I don't have sympathy. Wallahi.
People, family and friends that care for him.
Nah, man. I genuinely don't. That's a big ask for me to have sympathy.
No, I understand. Yeah. I understand.
I genuinely don't. Like, nah. But how it felt was like weight was lifted off my shoulders because I was being a lawyer to take him down anyway. And alhamdulillah, I don't need to be a lawyer anymore by force because, like, you know what? Wallahi, I dedicated my whole life. I gave myself 10 years. And you know what? Men should be actually scared of women that put their mind to things because I was eating, breathing, living, dreaming about the day that I was going to take him down through legally, you know? And I put my grind to it. I really tried. And then during the process, I didn't need to. I just felt like weight was lifted off my shoulder. Like, alhamdulillah, like, I don't need to force it. Now, in life, genuinely in life, I could just do what I want, make money the way I want to make money, not because I have to become a lawyer.
When Teewizz passed away, you were about 13 years old. So, and at that time, in 2017, certain songs were getting millions or upon millions of views, even as re-uploads to this day. So how did it feel with people playing the songs and publishing the songs and even repeating it when you're around?
When I'm around?
Yeah, because I'm sure this...
If it was when I'm around, I'd be real, I was like, wallah, I was like explosive. If I'm around and you play that in high school, I'm fucking you up. Simple as that. And until today, if you fuck with me, and I know, like, if we're in a car together and that comes on, like, how dare you? Friendship done, and you're getting smoked too. Because it's like, I'm sitting in a car with you, I'm in a place with you, and you're singing a song that's cussing my brother. Especially if you fuck with me, you know I'm grieving anyway. So why would you do that? Do you get? So in high school, like, because it was just everywhere.
I can imagine in school, there's some people that didn't even mean any harm by it, so, but they were just singing it because it was a popular song at the time. Yeah.
So because I was young, I don't know. I don't care who meant harm or who didn't. If I was there and I heard it, wallah, I kicked off. And I'm so grateful for my head teacher for not kicking me out. You know, she was really patient with me. But over the years, as I matured, I realized because they're the ones that didn't kill my brother and they're just silly people that are young. Hopefully, in due time, they grow, they mature, and Islam finds them, and they realize, and they repent. You know, there's nothing much I can say. That's the maturest response I can give you on this situation. Until today, when I scroll through TikTok, and if I see like a pretty girl or just a normal Somali girl or whatever, and they singing these lyrics, just a message to the youth, wallah, like, you don't. Even me, I don't listen to a drill song that cusses out other people because of the damage that I know how it feels firsthand. As a girl, I keep it classy. Why listen to drill? You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
the little boys really understand your deep the lyrics that you're listening to, and it can have impact on people. That's about it.
100%. Because there's a group of people who have made like very, very successful careers and have kind of gotten to that next level from initially mentioning your brother. So how that, yeah,
It gives me a bit of pride because it shows like, rah, like my brother was really the shit. Just for talking about him, like you can get that successful. Like, do you know what I mean? If he was alive, wallah, he's full of potential. Like it gives me a pride, like, you know, you're capitalizing off his name when you didn't even do it. My brother was a shit. I'm so sorry he was. You know, it makes me feel like I'm proud to be his sister. But also, I don't know, I just see them as little kids. And you know what? I'm seeing that they're finding faith as well. So in due time, they're going to become Muslim, inshallah. And in due time, they're going to clock, I made some bad mistakes and I don't want to be punished in hell. And they'll say sorry to me, inshallah.
do you think you could ever forgive them?
No.
Like, for example,
I do wish them well, though. I wish them well. I wish that they come
Like,
off the roads.
let's say 10, 20 years time, they say, "Oh, Maryam, I'm sorry for my role here." Would you ever accept that apology?
I feel like that's God answering my prayers because I pray for like them to be guided and then to say sorry to me, or for Allah to destroy them in front of me. That's my prayers. Is that rude to say? Like that's genuinely my
fair enough.
prayers, you know, because prayers of the oppressed get answered straight away. I feel oppressed because these men, I have no control over it. The whole world's speaking. That's why I'm making a podcast. Otherwise, if it was my way, the podcast wouldn't be out there. His name wouldn't be on social media. Nothing. But because it's already out there and there's so many stories and majority is negative, I felt the need to speak on a podcast. And you reached out and I just felt like, you know what? It's a good opportunity because it's already out there. But yeah, there's nothing much I can say to it.
100%. So, what do you think about people making diss tracks now, since things have kind of shifted? Because do you ever feel like you're like, do you ever feel bad in a sense?
No. I don't know. Like I'm being.
Fair.
Wallahi, no. TeeRose and his people. I know he's got a sister, a little sister. I know she's feeling what I'm feeling, and genuinely, because if we're taking it back to the beginning, he came to us. You deserved it. I'm sorry. It wasn't a punch up. You came to our doorstep. I'm so sorry. Wallahi, his mum, what he's feeling, the sister, everyone, is justice. This is haq. It's allowed, and it's life. What goes around comes around.
Fair. But what do you think about people from your era making diss tracks? Do you advise for it, or do you? What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. Genuinely speaking, I feel their pain and they just want to rub it in their faces because that's what they did to us. So I get it. But maturely speaking, I see right through it. And really and truly, we all know justice has been served. Don't be so childish about it. Keep it stepping. But I'm the biggest advocate. If that's what you want to do, I support you. Honestly, because you have every right to. You felt our pain. You have every right to. Same for me. If I'm here today, instead of speaking so maturely, I'm speaking like this because this is who I am. I'm Mimi. But if I was a different person, if I was more ghetto, if I was more in the roads, if I was more savage, and I was speaking a certain way, no one can tell me shit. Do you get it? Because you're not in my position. So no one can tell them shit too. Plus, they did the same thing, so it's only right.
Fair enough. To be fair, I don't really have it because to be fair, one, I'm not involved. I have no. Yeah, I just got to say that still. But at the same, I feel like the only thing that's a bit distasteful is mentioning J-Tapz because that's a child, 15.
I have no opinion on that. I'm not gonna speak on people that's not killed my brother. You know.
Fair.
Wallah, like any other death out there, I feel remorseful. I feel guilty. Like I hope they rest in peace. Everyone else except for you know who, and that's it. Like I don't cuss dead people. I don't come for dead people. But you cuss TeeRose in front of me. I don't even cuss TeeRose. Genuinely speak, I don't even cuss him. But you come for him and you cuss him in front of me. Good for you. Like I'm not gonna. Who am I to shut that down? Do you get it?
So you want me to get into it, or should you get into it? You're telling me about there's extra detail that I never knew about.
You never knew?
I only knew about it recently. I didn't put the two and two together because I wasn't on your life that whole time. But you've kind of mentioned it.
You've not heard it from the public eye?
Not heard it from not publicly.
Okay. I remember there was a fight that I had in school. I was in year 9, and then at like a year 11 was picking on me. And then I called my brother, and because he's not a female, he called his female friend. And then I come out the school gates and I see a girl in a tracksuit willing to F up the person that's pissing me off. And the girl that's in a tracksuit, pay attention to this is the character of the story. Anyway, and then years later, he passed away, etc. And then I see the same girl that backed my beef. And I'm like, of course. I hug her. I'm like, hi. Like, she's one of the first people that come to the house. Like, when I come back from the fun fair and I enter the house, she was there. I take her to his room. I asked her, what do you want? She chose a lighter of his and like a t-shirt. I gave it to her to keep because in my head, like, you back my beef. I know you're one of his female friends, you know? Anyway, she kissed my mum on the forehead. I remember that. And she's been in my house. All right, cool. The next day, more of his friends are turning up. And then, like, the garden is filled with the women. The garden is filled with all his female friends. And the front porch of my house is filled with all the male friends. So now I'm in the garden with the females. And this girl, she goes outside. And she takes a phone call. Anyway, she keeps going outside taking phone calls, etc. And one of the females, Abdullahi has some real friends. One of the female friends, they all started selling t-shirts, giving my mum money that they raised. Anyways, they played a big part. But what I'm trying to say is them females realize behavior and goes outside to the men and say, yo, I think she's behind the murder. Word went around that she said in my garden, in the victim's home, which is meant to be her friend, she was on the phone to TeeRose saying, was it you? Long story short, she was friends with T. No fault sent her out to speak to the ops because there was girls that were just messing with, like girls, them good girls that work with the man them. Anyway, No fault sent her out to speak to the ops and she fell in love with the ops. So she fell in love with TeeRose. A lot of pillow talking went down and she accidentally said Abdullahi's address. How can you accidentally say the address of your friend, you stupid woman? Anyway, she accidentally said it, and then they found the house.
Okay, so because I remember in the last interview you was mentioning how you guys had to kind of move away as well because of the address being leaked.
Yeah, so like it wasn't a T Drive, so Newham Close where he passed away. We called it now T Drive. Everyone was there, all his friends. Everyone's just paying respect for weeks on end until he gets buried. He gets buried in May 12th. He dies April 11th. So 1 whole month, people are chilling in T Drive. And as you're chilling in T Drive, you see a car pull up, throwing bottles. At the gravy, at the burial, there were ops, but like the men outside dealt with it, so we didn't even see it. But they were. So the fact that they knew everywhere he lived, and plus we moved out for safety reasons, and we also moved out for trauma reasons. There's no way I'm gonna live in a house if someone died. I've never dealt with death in my life, and for it to be my brother and I live in the same house, I can never fathom that. So we left.
No, 100%. So
and then overall, a friend of his was being investigated for his murder. And then all the hate she was getting, she got a restraining order for us. And one of my older brothers said to all the men, call off the girl, let her grow up. She's 16 years old. She moved out of town. Word has it she went Bristol. She started her life there. I posted that TikTok out of pettiness, and everyone started like realizing, oh my god, it's her. Like, you know what I mean? That's about it.
Cause so do you think if her alleged involvement if everything is correct, would you forgive her in a sense?
She's a female. In my head, I see her as just a stupid girl. Like, you're stupid. You, Abdullahi, trusted you. You backed my beef. You met me before. And, like, it's the description to me, he told his friend, he's like, oh, how does your little sister look like? I'm going to go to high school. She's a small, innocent girl with a long skirt and a hijab, and she's really short and light-skinned. That's his description to me. And she mentioned that to me. And then it's the fact that after that you had a guilty conscience, but you never knew, that you kind of knew who the killer was. You were speaking to him on the phone. You never told anyone that you knew him. You never told anyone that you used to have pillow talking with him. Like, she's just grimy. As a woman to a woman, I don't forgive you.
Like, how is it being you? Because I know you get loads of DMs. On TikTok, you're quite popular as well. Yeah, I'll say you're popular on TikTok. So, like, how does that affect you mentally in a way, and comments as well.
How does my TikTok affect me mentally?
Mimi, I'm not your mentor.
My friends know it's actually bad. With
Okay. I don't know. With Mimi, I haven't known
use
her.
like the
I haven't
blate
known her
this
for a-
person's out
yeah.
the name, but you started out as an example.
Yeah.
To do with my brother.
For example, there was a person who's also like kind of well known within the Somali TikTok community. Do you want me to say that again?
No, carry on.
Sorry, there was a person who was also well known within the TikTok Somali community, and he became friends, I would say, with Mimi, like mutuals. And then a whole situation kicked off where her brother unfortunately was brought up, and also TeeRose as well was brought up. And I can't lie, it did, from my point of view, it did affect Mimi, because it was like so many people, so many strangers who didn't know Mimi personally, who didn't know her brother, had so much stuff to say about him because of one person. Do you get what I mean? And they had no background information on Mimi. He literally tried to spin a whole narrative that she was a terrible person and like everything that was going on, like she deserved it basically, when that wasn't the case. So I would say with TikTok, especially the Somali community, can be a very, very toxic place. And as hard as it is to keep personal stuff off the internet, I'd recommend it 100%, like, in terms of that. But other than that, there is also a good side to us. Well, to every community, there is a good and bad side. And a lot of us, especially myself and our friend here, we took pride in like protecting Mimi from all those hateful comments, and if anything was ever said about her brother or anything like that, we'd put an end to it. But yeah.
How does it feel for people to still be mentioning your brother?
I don't know. It surprises.
Even in songs.
Yeah, it surprises me. What, like going on until today? It was 2 days ago. I opened TikTok and there's a drill page, like having. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a slides of people that's passed away. I sent it to all my friends, and I was like, yeah. And then as I'm reading it, it's gruesome. Like the description. Teewizz chasing at Ali and got stabbed, and then his intestines. So I was like, wow, why are you still mentioning it? It's actually wild, and it just messes with my grieving process, because I'm fine, and then I'm having a good day, and I go on TikTok and I see something, and then I get throwbacks, and it's just like long. It's just really long. But at the end of the day, it helps with my iman, because I don't know, like I think God's got a plan for me.
Where do you see yourself in future? Because you know, I feel like you have mad potential. Like if you make the right moves, you could do very well with yourself. So where do you see yourself in that 5-10 years?
All I'm gonna say, because it's going out in public, is don't sleep on me.
Okay.
That's it. I have Wallah, don't sleep on me, but I chose not to speak on my finances. And you know, like my TikToks used to be all about working and posting my income, and I took all of that stuff down. Either way is real. I keep all that stuff to myself. I'm not making money on social media, am I? So it doesn't need to be on there. Alhamdulillah. I just know I'll get far. That's it. There's not much I can say.
He said inshallah. Take your shahada already.
No, you know it's because I know some of the words. I say mashallah, inshallah, astaghfirullah.
Please tell me shit right now, you know. Please tell me right now. Take shahada right now.
Fuck it out, man.
He's still in love with Jesus.
No,
That's okay.
not in a way to shove the religion down your throat, but in your own time.
Yeah, 100%. I'm slowly picking up.
Researching it.
100%. Do you think I feel like every time I ask a question, I have more questions.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good
so,
though.
like, you get very curious, isn't it?
It's good though.
Because like sometimes I always also, you know, I might even keep this bit in, but like I always think of this as well, like with hell, like that shit don't make sense to me. That's I don't think there's anyone that I dislike enough for them to have an eternity of hell.
Why? Wait, is that what it says in the Bible? Eternity
Basically, I
In
think.
Quran.
no, but it doesn't even say that in the
Why
Quran.
can't you take
It does.
in hell though? Like,
No,
why can't you
you
believe
know,
it's a thing?
Ilahi, he's the most.
It's not like I don't believe it's a thing, but I feel like hell is
That's it.
too much For an eternity.
Why?
An eternity is a long
Tell
time.
you why.
That's
Say, for example, someone that's taken the lives of innocent people or children, done the most unthinkable things, do you not think they're gonna get punished?
yeah, of course.
But guess what? If you have your shahada in your heart, after all the punishment, Allah will take you out of hell and put you into heaven. But if you die as a kafir, which is not even believing in God at all, like denying His existence, that's unforgivable. You will burn in hell, and do you know what hell is like? I can't even imagine it. It's like I'm being burnt alive. I die, and then I wake up and I'm being burnt again. It's like repeat endless of the torture,
'Cause
and every torture is different.
At the same time, that sounds a bit because do you think that?
I thought he was gonna say fun. Oh,
Whoa, hell nah. But like, do you think like, for example, do you think with God, do you think He's all knowing? He knows everything that's gonna happen in the future.
Of course,
Like,
everything is predetermined.
so if He knows that people are gonna be in hell, why would you make them?
no, but listen, that's
It's a test.
I like this argument. Do
Okay,
you know
go.
why? Because
Hold on, let me increase your thing. Go on.
Allah is all knowing. Yeah, everyone who is a Muslim knows that. But He also gave us free will. Even though Allah knows what's going to happen in the future, what we're going to do, He still gave us the choice to either go down the right path or the wrong path. And especially nowadays, like in the day and age that we live in, knowledge is like so easy to access. There's so many books. We have TikTok. Like, even though I wouldn't recommend using TikTok to gain knowledge, but we have our phones. We have free libraries. Like,
How can you
we
not
have
find the truth?
so much technology. Like, you could go out there and find out so much more about your religion, become closer to God. You can go to the mosque. You can go to any like house that you believe in. Do you know what I mean? And find out what is true to you, what you find like, what you think aligns with your life the most. And even though Allah knows what we will choose, He still gave us the power to go about it like in any way that we want.
So it's our choice, and Allah also says, Shaitan is there to tempt us.
Yeah.
You know,
The devil is there
'Cause
whispering in our ears every single day.
Because maybe maybe it's something I need to, and maybe it's going over my head a little bit. But for me, it's hard to believe that God. So God knows that Iblis is gonna.
Okay. Let's rewind it, okay? And please, I'm not a
Yeah,
hafid.
I'm-
Wallahi, this is of my.
I'm not scholar, guys. This
Yeah,
is
this is literally
yeah.
my
literally not
brain
scholar.
and what I take in my heart.
knowledge
Yeah,
you've learned.
yeah. You know, Iblis. He's part of the Shaitan. He's part of the devils, but he was always prostrating to Allah. Like, he was so high in his worship that Allah classed him as an angel. He was amongst the angels once upon a time. Then Allah made Adam out of clay. Adam made us out of clay, Adam out of clay, and he told Iblis and all the angels to prostrate to him because he's like the first human he've made. And all the angels did it. Iblis said no. Like, he said, why are you making me prostrate to him when you love me? Like, you know, he refused. That's the first time he refused Allah. And then Allah said, I told you to prostrate, you didn't prostrate. And then he went against Allah. So then Allah told us that Iblis is going to be the last person to die on Judgment Day. He's going to be alive all the way until the end of the times. And he's there with his army to tempt mankind. In the Quran, it tells us that. It tells us in majority every surah, Surah Jinn. So, like, the whole Quran is filled with all of this, trying to help us from him. We have all the du'as to protect ourselves from them. We have all the signs to acknowledge this is the Shaitan trying to tempt me, you know? Like, Allah's there. He set the path. It's like a GPS. We have to follow it. But not like, he's also told us there's bumps on the road. Shaitan's going to try to do this. He's going to try to do that. He likes to make the believers feel ungrateful. So when a test comes, the first thing we told to do is count your blessings, because the big thing that Shaitan likes to do is make you focus on this one test, make you so depressed, lure you into clubbing and all the bad stuff, make that look like a good thing, when no, Allah's telling us really sit back and just count your blessings. If you start being grateful, the Shaitan hates that, you know? He's teaching us the way. So if you create humans, send us to earth as a big test. What the test is that we can't see the unseen. So we can't see the angels, we can't see the devils. We have their influence though. So if you read the Quran and you start playing the Quran, the house that you're in is going to start feeling nice. Probably get goosebumps, you probably start crying, probably get a cold breeze. If you genuinely, that's the angels around you, but we can't see it. And then all the bad nightmares and anxiety and depression, that's the procrastination, the laziness, we feel the influence, right? That's a Shaitan. But the biggest test for the humans that we have a blind cover, we can't see the unseen until Judgment Day. And then same thing for the levels of iman. The highest one is ihsan, and is that we can't see God. So ihsan is always thinking Allah's watching me. I'm about to go sleep, Allah's watching me. I'm about to do this sin, Allah's watching me. I'm gonna pray, Allah's like I'm praying in front of God, but we can't see it. That's the only test. And on Judgment Day, the veil in our eyes gets lifted, and we can see everything. So what I like to take to myself, this is just in my brain, my words, what I think as Mimi. I'm in this big world. First of all, Allah asked me multiple times. He showed me my whole life before I was born, because we have 4 lives. Before you're born, when you're born, the barzakh world, and the afterlife. So Allah showed me everything. He asked me multiple times, do you want to come to earth? Do you want to come to earth? Do you want to come? I said yes. He took away my memory. I'm in my mum's womb. I've now entered earth as a test. Allah's already told me that I'm going to get tempted, all of this stuff. And Allah also said something that I always take to myself. He says, I prefer mankind over anything. He prefers us over the angels. Because we have free will. The angels always just have to prostrate. But he prefers us because we choose to worship Allah, not because we're forced to. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, Allah prefers me over the angels. This is just a test. He asked me already if I wanted to come here out of his mercy. I said yes, Okay, fine. And then I'm going to die eventually. I'm going to go back to my Lord eventually. And I know death, like from the podcast, trust me. And you can just die like that. That's crazy. And you never know when you're going to die. And then I'm going to go back to him eventually. So if I choose to, and plus me knowing death now, first-hand experience, if I choose to be stupid thinking I'm never going to see my maker again, that's me choosing not to believe, and I deserve eternal torture. I'm sorry. Because how dare you? Allah's so merciful. Islam is right in front of our eyes. And when my brother passed away, my iman was like, I never was practicing before that. I knew I was Muslim, but like, I wasn't really like practicing. So when Abdullahi died, I was upset with God, and I never prayed a janazah. I never prostrated at all. I was shocked. Like as a child, my whole system got shot. Like, why am I praying? He took away my brother. It's very bad. I get it. But alhamdulillah, I didn't leave the religion. I was always Muslim, but I was just more upset with God, so I never practiced. Hijab went off, layers of clothes went off, and even the whole time, Allah blessed me so much. I touched the most money at them period of times, making it myself. I was always in fights, and Allah protect me. I've never went jail. I never got arrested. How did I not get arrested? I don't know. Do you get? And I see that all as Allah's mercy. He knew I was grieving, all of that, and he still helped me when I wasn't even worshipping him. So on the day of judgment, when he looks at me and I still haven't worshipped him since, and even accepted Islam since, and I'm sorry, that's why you deserve eternal fire, because there's no way you can look back at your life and think,
Eternity's a long time,
But it's like Allah's helped you all the way until your death. You know?
Something to say though, innit? Something that people don't understand, yeah, that they don't take in. This dunya isn't permanent. It's temporary. It's like a bridge. Like, this dunya is a shaky bridge. It's so easy to fall off it. But all you need to do is stay on the path, and you will cross onto the other side. That's what people don't understand. And also, one thing is, yeah, let's say, for example, today you lost your eyes. God forbid, innit? You went blind. As someone said to you, I would give you the power to see again, but every day you have to pray to me. Do you get what I'm saying? Would you do that?
Depends who I'm praying to.
The person that gave you eyesight.
If he says to you, I'll give you your
that
eyesight.
wanted your eyesight back.
Yeah, then
Would do that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what about the one that gave it to you for free? Your creator.
He made you.
know
You're
what I'm saying?
breathing because of him.
That's a very
And the
heavy point.
biggest
You know what I'm
test
saying?
is that we can't see him.
But I feel like we can get into rabbit holes about this, but at the same time, I don't remember even asking for the test as well. God, please, I hope this ain't blasphemy, but I don't remember coming, saying, yeah, I want to come to earth.
Same either. I don't.
Right.
It's
But what if
fine.
someone gave you opportunity and said to you, a test of 80, 90 years, however long you live, for paradise after you die? You know what I'm saying?
But he's saying
heavy.
he doesn't remember the life before.
Yeah, he doesn't remember it, but I'm saying now, let's say someone came to us and said, this is your opportunity now. You know what I'm saying? We sent you a book, we've given you the Quran, we've given you no knowledge.
Follow the GPS.
Yes, you know what I'm saying?
You know what my brother said to me? Wallahi, he said, Maryam, the Quran is a code. Each surah, it doesn't work. This is literally the advice he gave me, and I follow it. May Allah give him the rewards for it too. But he said to me, Maryam, the Quran is a code. Each surah doesn't come in order. And you have to, he's like, Surah Imran relates with Surah Nisa. And he gave me examples. And he goes, you have to figure out the code. You have to finish the Quran and figure out the code. It's a GPS to your life. Once you have the Quran, there's no way you can never fall off track.
Yeah, so do you have a closing message?
a closing message.
Mhm.
Stay off the roads. Don't get involved in my family business.
Mhm.
I know it's already out there, but Somali community, and kids will need to pan up and not tell me how to grieve. At the end of the day, I'll approach everything like what I took overall from my whole experiences. Approach every situation in life with love and delicacy, because people are gonna die. So I appreciate if you guys approached me with love and delicacy, and that's it.
100%. Thank you for coming down again, man. Like, I feel like this one went way better than the last one. I feel like we're way more comfortable with each other, and I think, what's that word as well?
Mature, professional.
No, is because obviously there was one time I mentioned something that you knew you didn't know the meaning of, but misunderstanding. That's it. Because I feel like you even DM me saying, "Oh, I understand what that meant as well."
Yeah.
You know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That took me by surprise. I don't know if you can cut this bit out, but it's like, look, I had no clue, and then you said to me, "How do you feel?" People referring to your brother like a strain of weed. That's a stab to my chest. I'm his sister. Do you
Yeah,
get?
no, 100%.
Like, yeah. So that's why my facial expression said it all, and people clocked in the comments.
Mm-mm.
And I was shocked. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
because you've had it. Because I thought, what did I say word for word? It was like
something like your
Two
brother
car.
referred to strain of weed like 2 car, and I'm like, wow, yeah. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I genuinely get it. So now at this little bit, guys, VE Media is not involved. I'm not involved. I'm just saying my perspective. You know, I'm just caught in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get the positive out of every single situation. Don't give hate to him at all. Thank you very much.
let's get it. Wow.